Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I will be doing the Let It Snow book tag. I wanted to do a winter-themed book tag because it is now officially winter, according to the calendar, and winter is actually my favorite season, so I look forward to this time each year. Specifically, the months of January and February are my two favorite months because of winter. So I found this winter themed book tag called the Let It Snow tag, and it had some really good questions, so I thought I'd do it. Of course, I'll link the original creator to this tag in the description box if you'd like to know, and also to credit them. And for this tag, I decided to just show books that I've read this year, because I've read a lot of books this year, and a lot of good books at that, so I want to highlight those. And so how about we just get started with question number 1. The first question is, the weather outside is frightful, a book with a snowy setting. This book instantly came to mind, and that is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I read this book earlier this year, and I love the setting of this book. It takes place in Colorado during a winter snowstorm in a cabin, and it's just such a vibe. And I will say that Penelope Douglas did such a good job describing the Colorado winter setting in this book. I could so vividly picture it. The setting of this book is beautiful. The plot of it, though, is insane. If you want to know, it's about this girl, I believe she's about 17, and she moves in with her step uncle and step cousins and starts like individual romantic relationships with each of them. So it is a very crazy subject, but it is a really good book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I overall just really enjoyed it, and I'm kind of concerned with how much I enjoyed it. But I mean, it's a unique book, and I just had a lot of fun reading it. Question 2 is, But the Fire is So Delightful, a book that warmed your heart. This book gave me all the happy, warm, fuzzy feelings, so I think it was an easy choice, and that is First Time Color by B.K. Borson. This book is so freaking cute. It is a contemporary adult romance, and I think this book just gives off the energy of love so well, and that's why it gave me those warm, fuzzy feelings. It was just such a romantic book. The whole premise of it is that we follow this girl named Lucy, and her daughter ends up calling up this romance hotline because she is hoping that the hotline will help her mom to find a date, because her mom is single and her daughter is very concerned about that. And so Lucy catches her daughter on the phone with this hotline in like the middle of the night, and she's like, well, what are you doing? Who are you calling? And so she gets on the phone and talks with the host of this hotline named Aiden, and she just spills to him all of the things she's looking for in a partner, and her call ends up going viral because it hits with a lot of people. And so this hotline proposes to her that she come on their show once a week and they'll help her find a date. And so she goes on this show once a week with Aiden, and he's screening calls coming through to the hotline trying to help her find a date, but in the meantime, he is actually falling for her. It is so freaking cute. Definitely one of the best books that I read this year, and I really want to read more from this author because I just loved this book so much. Question number 3 is, since there's no place to go, a place you wish you could visit, real or fictional? So this book I actually didn't read for the first time this year, but I did reread it this year, so it kind of counts. But I was thinking of all the books that I've read this year and just looking through each of them, trying to find a book with a setting that I would want to go and be in. And all my options were either just contemporary romance books that take place in the real world, so they're not that exciting, or fantasy books with worlds that I know I would probably die in. So I wouldn't want to be there because those worlds are brutal. And so I picked this book because I would like legitimately love to visit the setting that this book takes place in, and that is A Quarter Thorns Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I would just love to be in Prythian. Of course, Prythian is also really deadly, so I'll give it that. But from the way Sarah J. Maas describes the fairy world, it just sounds so pretty, and I'd love to visit all the different courts and like see them in person. Yeah, this world just feels so magical, and I'd love to visit it. I almost did go with Credence because I would also love to visit Colorado during a snowstorm. I think that'd be such a vibe, but I already mentioned this book in an earlier question. I wanted to go with something new. So we're going to go with A Court of Thorns and Roses because just this world is just so pretty and so cool. Next question. It doesn't show signs of stopping. A series that you're still in the middle of. So I'm not in the middle of a whole bunch of series, which is really good because I don't like to just stop in the middle of a series and not pick up the next book for a really long time. So I'm glad I'm keeping up with a lot of the series that I have been reading. This one, however, I am not caught up in, and that is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in this series, and this is the only book that I've read in this series so far. I do own the second book, which is Vengeful. I just haven't continued on with this series yet, and I have decided that I am going to just hold off on continuing on with this series for a little bit because the third book in the series is actually coming out in 2026, or so I've heard. And so I think I would rather wait to continue on with this series until the third book comes out, because it's inevitable that if I were to just continue on with the second book right now, I will have forgotten a lot of the plot of the series by the time I picked up the third book that is releasing in 2026. So I'm just gonna take a break from the series for now. I probably will have to end up rereading this book before I continue on with the rest of the series, but it's okay. I did enjoy Vicious. I think I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. It's a really unique book with a unique concept. It was really good, so I am very much looking forward to reading the rest of the books in this series. Next question, Brought Some Corn for Popping, a book you completely devoured. I read this book so quickly because I really could not put it down. It was so freaking good. And that is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, a book that I've talked about a ton this year because I absolutely adored this. Another book I actually considered putting in the places you'd like to visit question, but this book has the trials trope where each trial is really deadly and you can die during them. And so I'm like, you know what? I actually wouldn't want to be in this world because I feel like I would fail these trials so easily. So I didn't go with this one, but I love the vibe of this book. I love the setting. It's so whimsical. It's so dark. It's so gothic. Oh my god, I just ate it up. And I loved the characters as well. I loved our main character, Ophelia, and her love interest, Blackwell. Oh my god, I just swooned over him so much. The plot of this was just constantly engaging. I always wanted to move on to the next chapter. I could not put this down. Definitely pick this up if it sounds interesting to you. If you love the trials trope, I'm going to give you a bunch of buzzwords. This takes place in New Orleans in like a gothic setting. It's a dark fantasy. We have a shadow daddy in this one. Pick it up. Pick it up. It was so good. Next question. The lights are turned way down low. A book that kept you up all night. Okay, for this one, I kind of had to bend the rules a little bit. So I never stay up late reading a book because when I am tired, I cannot read. I will lose focus and will not be able to pay attention to what I'm reading. So I have only ever stayed up late into the night reading a book once, and that was with Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. That is the only book that I've ever stayed up all night reading because I could not put it down. This just never happens to me. And it didn't happen to me this year. So I kind of am reworking this question because it just doesn't really apply to me. I'm going with a book that I finished really quickly. And I finished this book in 2 days, which is really fast for me. It usually takes me 3 to 4 days to finish a book of this size, but I finished it so quick. And it's kind of funny because I didn't love this book, but I finished it really quickly. And that is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I haven't talked about this book yet because I just read it last week, or I think like 2 weeks ago in December. And so I will be talking about this one more in my December wrap-up that will be coming out at the end of this month. But I do gotta say that I finished this book really, really quickly. And the reason for that is because this plot is just really simple. And another thing is that the text, if you look at it, it is very, very big. Super big text on the pages, and the chapters are short. And so that made it so the pacing of this book felt just like really quick, and it was really easy to read. And that's why I finished it in 2 days, because it was like so chill, so cozy. It didn't have like a deep plot that just really mentally drained me. It was just really easy, and so that's why I finished it hella quickly. But the book itself was just kind of meh. It was just meh, and I'll talk about it more, like I said again, in my December wrap up. But I did finish this one really quickly. I think this is actually the novel I have finished the fastest this year. Like 2 days, that is crazy for me. For me, that is insane. So yeah, at least this book was really easy to read. And the last question is Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, a winter recommendation. I wanted to recommend a book that takes place during the winter time because that would be such a vibe to read during the winter season. The only other book that I read that takes place in winter this year, besides Credence, is Frigid by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and that was a reread for me. And upon reread, I didn't love that book as much as the first time I read it, so I actually wouldn't really recommend it. And so I couldn't go with that one, but I went with the book instead that I just feel like gives off winter vibes. It's a very dark book, and I feel like it'd just be a really great book to read during the winter time because of that. And that is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This was a great book that took me by surprise because it was actually a book that was really hard to get into for me at first, but when I got into it, I got into it. It was so good. So the premise of this one, we are following 3 girls in 3 separate timelines, and each of them have had experiences having been turned into vampires. And so we're watching their stories unfold and how they deal with that. The first girl we follow, Maria, she actually takes advantage of the fact that she's been turned into a vampire to harm those who have wronged her. The second girl, Charlotte, is turned into a vampire against her will, but she really easily falls into the vampire lifestyle. And the third girl's story, it takes place in technically present day, like 2019, and she was turned into a vampire not against her will, and she hates it. And she is devastated because of it. And then the end of this book, all of their stories come together and their lives intertwine so perfectly. It was just such a cool book. Definitely slow in the beginning, but if you are patient with it, the payoff at the end of this book is great. I'm really glad I stuck with this one and saw it through to the end because I ended up really enjoying it. There it is, the Let It Snow book tag. I hope you guys took away some recommendations from me through this tag, and ultimately, I hope you enjoyed it. Before I go, I am going to mention I am on social media. I am on Instagram, and I've been pretty active on there. I'll have my Instagram linked in the description box below if you would like to follow it. And if you're not subscribed to this channel yet and you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. I would love to have you here. And I guess that's it. I'll be back with my next video on Sunday, so hopefully I will see you then. Bye!
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought me some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down